Hi all, this is Dr. Ratna Chaturvedi from the Department of Information Technology. The subject which I am taking is Artificial Intelligence. In this we are nowadays doing knowledge representation, which is a unit third of our curriculum. In this we will today talk about approaches to knowledge representation and issues. There are three different approaches which are used to represent the knowledge. These are simple relational knowledge, inheritable knowledge and inferential knowledge. Most of the things are itself clear by the name itself. We will see one by one all the three approaches. First is simple relational approach. Basically, relational approach is that kind of representation wherein we are storing the facts on the basis of the relationship they are having between different set of objects. This approach is famous in database system wherein relationship between different entities are represented, and there is a very little opportunity to find out the inference or to conclude the things in this kind of representation in AI. Like here, this is the representation wherein in tabular form we have represented these name, age and employee ID are the property of a student database, wherein here as the entity students and attributes are name, age and employee ID. These are the tuples with respect to different students. The details are being stored in the tuple or a row over here. So it's a combination of column and rows, in which we will be defining all the attributes of a particular entity, and each and every attributes of a particular entity are having individual details of all the respective details of a like you can say details which are to be there with respect to that particular entity. Inheritable knowledge approach, in which all data must be stored in a hierarchical form. All classes should be arranged in a generalized form of hierarchy only. In this approach, we apply inheritance property and element of inherit value from other members of a class. If there is a class, this class can be having another class, and this is a derived class which is going to inherit the features from the parent class. So it is having a parent-child kind of relationship, wherein another class will be going to get derived from the parent class and going to inherit the values from its parent class. So this approach contains inheritable knowledge which shows a relationship between instances of class. So it is also called as instance relationship. Every individual frame can represent the collection of attributes and its value. In this approach, you see that the object and values are represented as a boxed node, right? And we use arrow to represent that from where the features going to or knowledge going to inherited in which particular class or instance. Like it's shown in the example over here. This is our inheritable knowledge shown over here. The adult male. Player is an adult male. This is one of the class, and the properties of this adult male is being inherited by this child class. Player is an adult male. Adult male is a parent class. Then we talk about cricket and football. There can be any number of events, but cricket is also a game, and the person who play the cricket is also a player. So cricketer is a player, footballer is a player. So again, this is the parent class, and these are the child class which are going to inherit some feature from the player in this child classes. Now Peter is an instance. Peter is one of the cricketers. So what we say, Peter is one of the instance who is a cricketer. Cricketer is a player, and this player is an adult male. Even if we talk about the age, we can say in this way, under 19. Player is under 19. Fine. If it is not an adult player, then it is under 19. Here Danny is a cricketer. Cricketer is a player, and player is under 19. So this type of representation is known as inheritable representation, because if we talk about this instance, this particular instance is having all the properties which are going to get inherited in this particular instance. So definitely some properties of under 19 is lying in player object. The properties of player object and under 19 is lying in cricketer. So this is the inheritable knowledge. Now we move to another type of knowledge, third type, that is inferential knowledge. So inferential knowledge approach represents the knowledge in the form of formal logic, where facts are will be there, where the logical sentence will be going to return the values as a true or false, and it definitely guarantees the correctness also. Like in example, you can see, let's say one proposition, one statement is John is a cricketer. This is one of the fact that John is a cricketer, and another fact which is given is all cricketers are athletes. From these two facts, we can easily say that if all cricketers are athletes, then John is also an athlete. And how will be representing? If you have to represent John as a cricketer, we will represent in this way. Cricketer. Who is a cricketer? John is a cricketer. And we can write in this way also, for all x, second statement, for all x, all cricketers are athletes. So for all x where x is a cricketer, for all x where x is a cricketer, we can say that x is an athlete also. So it implies that if x, for all x, if x is a cricketer, then we can imply that x is an athlete. So this is how we can inference the knowledge from the given facts. This is a second example. Marcus is a man. How we represent? Marcus is a man. Then all men are mortal. So for all x, if x is a man, then we say that x is mortal. So for all x, if x is man, then it implies that x is mortal. So this is the inferential knowledge. This we will see in coming classes in detail. We will be finding out some outputs using. Then comes to procedural knowledge. Procedural knowledge approach uses some small programs or codes which describes that how a particular task is to be done. It is having certain set of statements. This approach uses basically if-then rule, wherein we can use various coding languages such as Lisp or Prolog. Lisp is in your curriculum. I suggest you should learn Prolog also. We can easily represent heuristic or domain-specific knowledge using this approach, but it is not necessary that we can represent all cases in this approach. So let's see further on. These are certain issues in knowledge representation. See, our main objective of knowledge representation is to draw conclusion. Why we are doing these all things? To draw the appropriate and right conclusion. But there are many issues associated with this use of knowledge representation technique. This is one of the example given of inheritable knowledge representation. Here Virat is a batsman. Virat is an instance. Virat lives in Delhi. It's a batsman. His batting average is this. This is a value given over here. Cricket player are having certain attributes like height, batting average, and batsman is having a batting average. Okay? And cricket player is a male who is having height of 6, and person is a male and person is left-handed. Or we can say Ashwin, who is in Chennai, who is from Chennai, is a bowler. Bowler average is 19.20. He is also a cricket player. He is a left-handed batsman. He is a male and he is a person. Now we see the issues. First is important attributes. There are two attributes shown in a diagram. One is instance and second is isa. Since these attributes support property of inheritance, they are prime importance. Fine. Then relationship amongst attributes. Basically, the attributes used to describe objects are nothing but entities. However, the attributes of an object do not depend on encoded specific knowledge. So this is the another issue, relationship amongst the attributes. First is important attributes. There can be any number of attributes. Fine. Now you have to see that what are the attributes which are to be mentioned over there, whether they are supporting the property of inheritance or not, or they are of prime importance or not. Then relationship amongst attributes. So we have to see that what are the relationships which are being mentioned over there. They are specific or not, or whether they depend on encoded specific knowledge or not. This is one of the factors which we have to take care of. We have to look at the granularity of representation While deciding it, it is necessary to know that what are the primitives, at what level should the knowledge be represented, and what should be the number of low level primitive and high level facts. High level facts may be insufficient to draw the conclusion. So that's why we need to have a low level primitives also. But when we put all high level as well as low level primitives, then it definitely requires a lot of storage. So this is also one of the very important issue, that whether at till what granularity level we have to represent or store the knowledge in the database. For example, suppose that we are interested in following facts. John spotted Alex. Now this could be represented as spotted. John is an agent, fine, who is being spotted, fine, and who has spotted who? Alex. Alex is an object. John is an agent who is spotting, and to whom John is spotted? Alex. Thank you. So such a representation can make it easy to answer question that who spotted Alex. Or suppose the question comes from the outside world, did John see Sue? Now here it is not mentioned, here it is mentioned that spotted, X has spotted Y. But if we look at that granularity level, and we can say spotted and saw are both are the same thing. If in case the question comes to the system that did John see you, so he should be able to answer, because spotted and saw both are the same thing. So we have to look at that level of granularity also, that if X has spotted Y and someone is asking whether X has seen Y or not, it should be able to answer, because both are one and the same thing. So this is one of the issues. Then representation, representing set of objects. There are some properties of objects which satisfy the condition of a set together but not as individual. Like, consider the assertion, there are more sheep than people in Australia, and English speakers can be found all over the world. These facts can be described by including an assertion to the set representing people, sheep, and English. Now, next is finding the right structure. To describe a particular situation, it is always important to find the excess of right structure, and which can be done by selecting an initial structure and keep on reviving it as per the choice. While selecting and reversing the right structure, it is necessary to solve some problem statement. They include the process on how to. So for that, you need to select an appropriate structure, fill the necessary details from the current situation, determine a better structure if the initially selected structure is not appropriate to fulfill other condition, find the solution if none of the available structure is appropriate, and then create and remember a new structure for the given condition. There is no specific way to solve the problem, but some of the effective knowledge representation technique can help us to give the potential solution. This is all about knowledge representation. In coming classes, we will see proposition logic and the various rules and connectives used to represent the knowledge using propositional logic. Thank you.